are now plugged into Hooked on Sonics with Roots and Tone Capone.
And we're live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce, and as always, everyone's brother from another mother, the Tone Capone. And this week, we've got a couple of heavy bangers for all of you today. We got Municipal Waste, The Art of Partying, and Nashville Pussy's breakthrough album, Get some heavy music news to get into and all that jazz. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. So obviously we got to have something to wash that down with. But before we get into all that, the people want to know. I could care less, but the people demand that I ask you, how are you?
Good evening. I am good. Getting through the day like everybody else. Just doing what it is we do, man. You know, keep on living and keep on trucking.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. What you been listening to this week, man?
Well, this week's been heavy on some Ace Frehley and some Hith. So real heavy on that. Listen to a few recent episodes of Eddie Trunk Show, just trying to get some of the latest, greatest information regarding all that. And then obviously this Municipal Waste album. Yeah, so that's did pick something up. As everyone knows, I am a huge Waylon Jennings fan, and they just released a brand new Waylon Jennings album, first album in 27 years called Songbird. And it's got some cool stuff in there, but one of the things I wanted to show you was this killer. It's called Tiger's Eye Vinyl, only available for indie stores. So take a look at that.
That is nice.
That is very pretty.
That is nice. And I think you've told me that album's pretty solid.
Very solid. It is it the greatest Waylon album? No, but it's got some really, really cool songs on there. The title track, Songbird, which is a Fleetwood Mac cover, solid cover, and also a Johnny Cash cover on there. Kind of a weird selection. It's called After the Ball. It's a really unknown Johnny Cash album called The Rambler. So that was exciting to hear that. So, what about you, my friend? What have you been up to?
Listened to a ton of Obituary this week. Listened to some Ohm. Listened to some Boring. Checked out some, obviously that Nashville Pussy album you gave me. What else? Picked up a couple Municipal Waste album over on Bandcamp. Picked up an EP called The Last Rager. And then I picked up, I think, their second album called Hazardous Mutation. So I've been kind of jamming that stuff and listening to a little bit of Napalm Death. But yeah, other than that, man, just chilling. What are you drinking tonight, man?
Well, in honor of the spaceman, this is all about. I'm dedicating this episode to Ace, really. I don't care. We've got some Outer Space vodka.
Nice.
He was the man from outer space. I'm drinking that with a little bit of cranberry juice. Outer Space vodka. I don't even know where it's from. I don't have I have no idea anything about it other than it's a cool freaking bottle there. It's it's vodka. I mean, there's not much to say.
When you polish that thing off,
mm-hmm.
You should toss it over to the guys at Beyond Neptune.
Just might do that.
I know that one of them keeps like an alien head bucket or something on one of the amps. They may even have one of those laying around. So, I mean, I guess the more alien heads they have laying around, the cooler it might be. Who knows?
Listen, You're not cool unless you have alien head stuck in your house.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the aliens are coming, by the way?
Are we talking the Atlas thing?
Hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what comes with that.
Uh, Sounds like a lot of, don't sound good. The high res pictures I've seen, obviously it's on the internet, so it has to be real. Uh,
I don't know about all that, dude.
Not,
I've come to the point in my life I'm gonna worry when it's time to worry.
well, there ain't no sense in worrying. If that thing turns out to be a spaceship, we done.
You're out of
We're
your
done.
damn mind.
Yep.
You need to stop reading the Inquirer.
I was just saying that wasn't all. It wasn't all wrong.
I don't know, man. I'm I'm a little leery myself, be honest with you. But we'll see what there is. You know, that's all
Hmm.
you can do.
Yep. Well, I did
Maybe they're
that.
gonna come down here and smack everybody around and say, "Get your fucking act together."
That'd be nice.
So
Check out this shirt.
something weird is happening with your camera as I'm watching you. Have you
Yeah,
been noticing this at all?
that it zooms in on me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Why is it doing that?
well, this is why I've secretly been stashing funds from all of our from all of our views and clicks, and I hired myself a cameraman.
I'm not impressed with these antics.
Now, I don't know. It's this new thing that said, "Hey, you want to try this?" I was like, "Sure, let's try it."
Yeah, and it just keeps on
Moving.
confusing the crap out of me. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
The sad thing is I don't know how to turn it off.
The sad thing is it's driving me up a wall because when you brought that album up earlier, it went to focus on that Dogfish Head poster.
That's weird.
I swear it did. I'm glad my camera ain't doing crazy shit.
That's funny.
So if you're watching this at home, folks, blame Bruce for the insanity that's going on over in his side of the screen. I have no control over that, and I can't control that. We just had a 20-minute meltdown here about 5 minutes ago. So, I mean, old people and technology, it doesn't mix.
Get off my lawn.
I'm just messing with you. And uh anyways. So yeah,
What?
we got a couple albums to review. Definitely got to talk about some news, man.
Hmm.
And what I'm drinking. So this evening, I am actually trying something from a totally new brewery for me. I am a bit of a fan of some fruit ales. One of my favorite that isn't made anymore, which was made from the original location of Columbus Brewing Company, was their apricot ale.
Hmm.
I used to drink it during the summer and I used to love that thing. Well, I have found Wolf's Ridge Brewing has a peach sunrise, which is a peach wheat ale.
Interesting.
And it rings in, I think, at about 5% alcohol by volume. Good night, baby. I love you.
Are we
Bye.
ending the show? I love you.
No, that is my grandson going to bed. So yeah, this is it's a wheat ale, obviously with a hint of peach. I'm not going to go into the long reading off the back of it for you. It's not too long, but uh, yeah, I'm blind, so I'm not going to read it. Anyways, I'm old and I'm blind. Anyways, we'll take another sip of this. I like it. I like it. Do I think it's a top tier beer for me? No, but this would really get down during the summer. I'm wondering why I'm just seeing it in the fall. It's not bad by any means. Almost reminds me of like a solid pilsner or a lager with a hint of peach. Pretty refreshing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4.25.
There you go.
So yeah, not a bad little brewski there.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I didn't get into too much digging around for any news because we obviously have a couple monumental passings away we need to discuss.
Yeah.
I think we would be amiss if we didn't mention the passing of Ace Frehley. I think you and I have bonded over many, many, many Frehley songs and experiences.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not sure if you were with me when I seen Frehley on tour at the Newport. You may have been with me that night. And it
Not
was the
for
only
the
time,
for that tour, the Anomaly tour.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And while I wasn't as big a fan of the album, it was still nice to get to hear him play a lot of stuff that I wanted to hear him play. And it was the only time that I had got to see him. I think aside from leaving Fraley's Comet and say, the time between that and Trouble Walking and then up until that point when Anomaly was reached, I think I was kind of blessed to see that version because he was still in good playing condition, still in good spirits, and playing really well live. Still a jokester on stage and having a good time, and still put on a phenomenal show. I regret not seeing any rendition of Fraley's Comet because, truth be told, I loved Todd Howard. I love I'm a huge Anton Fig fan. I think
Mhm.
that guy is one of the most underrated drummers in the business. Um, so yeah, we would be amiss not to say how big of an impact and influence Kiss was on us, and Ace being the reason why I'm sure you owned a Les Paul and I've owned
Mhm.
several.
No, absolutely. You know, part of me, and I had a couple people ask, why, are you guys going to do like a show dedicated to Ace, like we did with Ozzy? And I thought about it, but a couple of things. A, my voice is just now coming back. I had a medical incident where it's completely blew my voice out. So even if I wanted to talk, it was not, it wasn't pleasant. And then secondly, it's taken me a while to get kind of my thoughts together on it. You turned me on to Kiss originally, but I think it's safe to say I'm a much bigger fan of the band than what you are at this point.
Correct. I I know that you will probably love them till the bitter end. Me, I just see them as despicable people.
Yeah.
And
Um,
I and personally, there are despicable people in rock, but here's the thing. When you look at that band the way that you and I looked at that band growing up,
mhm,
there was definitely some idolization there.
mhm,
I don't know how I can idolize those four individuals with as mean as they have been to each other over the years. They, as a band, did something very few people in the world get the opportunity to do. And now they've become a legacy thing.
mhm.
Not many bands are going to be legacy things
Mhm.
from here on out.
Yeah,
You know that, and I know that.
no, absolutely. And listening to having the opportunity to listen to all these people uh, share their memories and share their thoughts on Ace and how much he meant to them, and you do kind of get sucked into some of the dirt because Ace was kind of nut. You know, he was. Somebody summed it up pretty well. They said Ace is the type of guy that you invite him to a party, he drinks all your booze, he eats all your food, hits on your wife, but you still invite him for the next party because he's that much fun. So, warts and all, um, he still was he still meant a lot, and he was a good person to a lot of people.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I've seen some autism charity um, put out a Twitter thing saying they really appreciated all of Ace's charitable works that he did for this autistic society. And it's like, well, I didn't know that. And I've gotten messages and stuff like, oh well, Ace did this for my kid, or this, that, and the other. It's like, wow, it's you
I
get that
mean,
human
could you
side that we don't see as just fans.
could you consider maybe the fact that maybe Ace might have been on the spectrum?
No, I think
Dude,
I think nah.
he was
I
crazy, brother.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was what
crazy. Listen,
he was eccentric.
this cat showed up for his interview, getting into Kiss with two different color shoes on, man.
That's all right. Red sneaker and an orange sneaker. You know, but it's been hard for me to kind of put all this into words because hey, it's just shocking because these were superheroes. You
Oh
know,
yeah. They
and-
dressed the part of superheroes. They played superheroes in a movie. You know what I mean? Come on.
yep, and
So
they're not supposed to die. And
uh we all
you-
meet our maker, brother.
sure, but
And
you're
and legends never die.
that his legacy will move on, will live on. But
He is now a legend. I'm gonna tell you, my question is, who do you think he's going up there to kick it with? Ozzy or Dio?
Ozzy,
I don't know about
Eric,
all that.
Eric Carr, that's who he's going to go kick it with. So
Yeah, I don't foresee that being an issue.
yeah,
Um,
you
so
know,
let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me ask you something real quick.
mhm,
Favorite Kiss album that featured Ace, that had Ace on it?
Dynasty.
Really?
Yep. He had three songs on there that he sang lead on. Um, the guitar playing on every one of those songs is fantastic. Is it the popular choice? No, but I love Save Your Love, 2000 Man,
Oh,
and
2000 Man's a great cover.
mhm,
Such a great cover.
yeah, and I'm drawing a blank on the third song off the top of my head.
And
There's some of the
that's one thing I loved about Ace. Ace wasn't afraid to do covers.
mm, no,
Now, what's your favorite Ace album without Kiss?
it's my favorite solo album
Yeah.
of Ace.
Doesn't have to be solo. He could be in Fraley's Comet. I mean, that
Well,
doesn't
I mean, that's solo
that
album.
was still a band.
Mm, sure. It's still solo. Um, I'm gonna say Trouble Walking. It's got to be Trouble Walking.
I would agree with you on Trouble Walking.
Yeah.
100%. Love the production on that album. Love that album front to back as a whole. His cover of Do Ya is
Mhm.
absolutely freaking amazing.
Yep. Hide Your
And
Heart.
yep. And well, I mean, was it really a cover? Because both bands did it at that same time.
Yeah, but it's a Holly Knight. It's a Holly Knight song. She recorded it.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
So then it would, for me, dude, I mean, I know he didn't sing on it. Don't get me wrong. I love when he first sang on Shock Me,
Hmm.
and I love Ace as a vocalist, but I have to give it up to the first album, dude.
Yeah.
Just that first Kiss album is so there's not a single bad track on that album
No,
whatsoever, dude.
no, and I even love theme from Kiss. That instrumental.
The whole thing.
Hmm.
The whole thing's a phenomenal album. Cohesively, it's a phenomenal album. I would rate that album a solid 10.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just staple. Um,
Dynasty, I don't know that I could give a 10.
I get that. I don't know if I could give Dynasty a 10, but I love Ace's contributions to that album.
Yeah. Well, with
Um,
that being said, I think
yeah.
we 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 both know that this show probably wouldn't even exist if it weren't for Ace Frehley and our love of rock music.
Hmm.
because that's for you and I, that's kind of where things really kind of kicked off. I mean, I had been listening to Quiet Riot and shit like that, AC/DC and shit like that before, I'm sure as you did, but there wasn't really ever a time you sat down and said to yourself, this is my favorite band. And
Yeah.
we both at one point in time, Kiss was our favorite band.
And Kiss is still my favorite, but um, I can remember when the exact moment when I went from being a Gene guy, because I started off as a Gene guy, and I went to an Ace guy. So back in the day, they used to have bootleg videotape over at Magnolia Thunder Pussy, and they had these bootleg tapes. I forget the name of the tapes, but it was like a 10 volume series, and it was like of different clips of Kiss over the years, from Australia, from wherever.
Before the
And
internet existed.
correct, way before the internet. And they went through. It was this Australian music show called Inner Sanctum, where they were showing the outtakes and stuff. And Ace was absolutely blitzed out of his mind. And just his interactions with Gene and Paul and Eric was just, I became a fan straight off from that day. Like, he's got my kind of sense of humor. That was the first time I've seen his sense of humor come
I,
through.
I've seen that one of those interviews pop up with he was just sitting there fucking losing his shit through the whole fucking interview.
Probably
And
the tomorrow, yeah.
Gene and Paul are just like, you could tell they're fucking irritated as shit. And Peter's just going like, what the hell's going on over here?
Yeah.
Fuck it. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
he was loving it. Yeah, that was the Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder. That was on Halloween night. So definitely everyone check that out. That is prime Ace.
That
He
is,
just he took over the interview, and Gene and Paul were
yeah,
livid about it. That's when I became an Ace guy, and I haven't looked back since.
yeah. He's a riot, man. I love him. And rest in peace, brother. You are definitely going to be missed. You'll always be Space Ace to me,
Always.
and everybody I see online says Spaceman, and I'm just like, no. For me, it was always the Space Ace, brother,
Yeah,
because
he's Space Ace.
he was the Space Ace. You can,
Once,
he was definitely a spaceman, that's for sure, and you can call him
yeah,
the Spaceman. But as a Kiss fan, he'll always be the Space Ace to me, dude.
yep. One of the tributes that I saw that I really thought was interesting. Blackie Lawless. They were
Yeah,
kids. They grew up together,
yeah,
and Blackie had this story about how they didn't have a pot to piss in, so they recycled a bunch of pop bottles and stuff to recycle those and get money for 25-cent beers, and they
yeah.
would just get wasted on beer. And then Tommy Thayer, who took over for Ace as a spaceman character, who it's Tommy's a great guy, and he put out a just phenomenal tribute, and he basically said, thank you for letting me walk in your shoes. And I didn't do it justice. You got to check it out, but it
Yeah.
was such a classy thing from Tommy to do that. And then been seeing Gene post a lot of different things, about a
I've seen some old pictures.
yeah.
That Peter's been posting them, I think, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's
And
pretty neat.
I definitely think Gene is taking this pretty hard.
Well, I mean, for as much as those two bicker back and forth about each other,
Yeah.
you'd think they were wives.
Yeah. There's this clip that come up. Ace was saying, I was on this vault thing with Gene, and Gene said he didn't have any friends. And Gene's
Yeah, I
there.
saw
Hey,
that.
yeah. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm your friend. And I was like,
Yeah,
that it's just wild. And then, so even with all that mudslinging horse shit that they do to each other, deep down in there, there's a connection, there's a bond,
So let me ask you this, and before we wrap this section up, and I may have asked you this before, do you think that the Fraley family sees any royalties or anything from the sale that they had done when they had sold the catalog?
Don't know. Because Gene and Paul owned everything Ken, including the makeup. Now, did like if there's like going to be any special appearances or anything like that, did they have to get Ace's or Peter's permission? Yes, they work out their own separate deals on any of that kind of stuff. But as far as like future royalties, I probably probably Ace gets some royalty money from his publishing, but from the actual pop out deal, I doubt it.
You think we're going to see any influx of maybe some drops of Fraley's Comet shit and maybe another re-release of Trouble Walking or anything with his passing?
Well, they just re-released a version of Trouble Walking. There was a record store day version, and then Friday Music just put out a version. But I know that he was working on another album, as you know,
There's some
what
unreleased material. Yeah.
unreleased material. He was working on an album when everything happened, and we'll see. I you know I hope there's some good shit out there somewhere.
They just re-released the first four Danzig albums. And
I think
I'd love to get a hold of them, man, but they're $30 a freaking pop, dude. And then you factor in shipping. Ugh.
get it into your local record store.
I don't know that they're getting them from that company.
They'll
That
order them.
all right.
Check out used kids records in Columbus, Ohio, kids.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, last time I bought a Danzig record from used kids, it was Lucifuge, and it's warped shit and back. I can't even listen to the damn thing.
Um,
It's a damn bummer. Anyways,
yeah.
I
So rest in
digress.
peace, eh?
So, along with that, we also have heard the passing of Sam Rivers, the bass
Mm-hmm.
player for Limp Bizkit.
Yep.
Limp Bizkit obviously has their place. They've been around for a number of years. They've had several albums that probably sold several millions of copies, and um, not what I listen to now, but at some point in time, I dug some of their stuff. I'm sure some of our fans have as well. However, saw a heartfelt speech from uh, Fred Durst in regards to that, and yeah, you got to feel for those guys, man. It's unfortunate to lose somebody you're so close with, and one thing that I say to myself when these things are happening is, man, gosh, bless. Some of our heroes are freaking dying, man. They're falling off at a rapid pace.
Mm-hmm.
Just every time you turn around, oh no, not another one. And we still reeling in the loss of Eddie and Ozzy, and just now Ace, and just like I was just a teenager, and these people were you're so much bigger than life. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yep.
And the sad thing I think about right now, dude, is music's in the worst state it could ever be in. Artists can't make money unless they're touring constantly. That's why Ace was out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Absolutely, dude. Artists can't continue to make no money if they can't tour constantly. Look
Mm-hmm.
at Kiss. They've done sold the catalog. Now some streaming company gets to, all the Kiss nuts. When they want to buy something, they got to get it from whatever streaming company's owning all the rights. And what do they get per stream? When
And
the company owns it as opposed to when the band owns it. If the band owns it and all they get is 3 cents per stream, what if the company owns it? They could charge whatever they
hey,
want.
no, so Spotify has their own. Like, if you want to be on our platform, you're getting X amount per stream. Period.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes without saying, once again, Limp Bizkit had a huge cultural impact. I want to say through the late 90s, maybe some of the early 2000s.
Mhm.
They had broke when about Korn had broke through. Deftones had broke through. They're part of that big genre of things that was going on during that time. And if you didn't like Korn, you probably liked Limp Bizkit. If you didn't like Korn and Limp Bizkit, you probably liked the Deftones. There was just some bands during that time that really brought it to the forefront and could really do it in. And um, it's just very unfortunate that two major cultural impacts are gone, and
Yeah.
Ace has been a cultural impact since the early 70s,
Mhm.
so rest in peace to both those guys. It's very unfortunate to lose two so close, and even as many as we have so close as we have. I mean, we're just still all reeling in Ozzy's passing. We were just talking about that, what, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Just it's sad.
Yeah.
But let's get on to some good news.
Yeah, dude.
Um, that is all the news we're bringing you this evening because that's a lot. Bruce, whose turn is it?
It's your turn.
Oh no, don't tell me it's my turn.
Oh, it's totally your turn.
Oh man, are you sure you want me to go first?
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay. So Bruce last week gave me Nashville Pussies Get Some. This is a 2005 release from what I saw. And I couldn't write anything down other than this. And somebody, may have even seen this in the comments. Nope. As a matter of fact, I did not because I listened to this album through Bandcamp. I found it on Bandcamp. It's $11. I'll talk more about that later.
Uh,
This album is as if Skinnerd and Motorhead had a baby.
dude. Okay.
All right. I just want to say this album is just, you take the Southern metal thing, and you throw in some Motorhead pound and driving thing, and you got some Nashville pussy all sauced up. So let me get into this because this is going to be interesting.
Uh-huh.
Track number one, Pussy Time. I gave this one an
What
A.
is it?
It's Pussy Time. I gave this one an A. This is a balls to the wall opener. This is like Southern rock on meth. And let me scream for the first time. Solo,
Uh,
guitar solo, nasty, played with definite feel. I am digging that solo. Track number two, Come On, Come On. I gave this one an A as well. Another throwdown of Southern hard rock. This track kind of gave me a faster Pussycat vibe.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. And once again, I have to scream solo. The guitar solo on this is just as nasty as before. These guys are starting this album off solid. Like, I'm two tracks in, and if I can get two tracks off a few of these guys' albums like this, they're definitely worth checking out. And I appreciate it. Track number three, Going Down Swinging. I gave this one an A. It almost became a B, dude. It almost became a B. I said it had a cool intro guitar, almost, and on the almost almost another Southern rock banger. Once again, I scream solo. Solo. This guitar player solo. Just I that's all I'm gonna say. Like, this guitar could think this guitar has made, like on that song, has definitely made the difference between that being an A and a B. I just want to say that. That's how much this solo guitar player is really kind of banging it out.
That's Ryder Size.
Huh?
That her name is Ryder Size.
Reuter
Uh,
size.
mm-hmm.
Man, I saw pictures. And I saw that they had a female guitar player, and I saw that name, but I didn't want to assume how to say it.
Yep.
But all I'm going to say is, Jesus, man, she is good, dude. She is freaking good. I love the vocals. They're very nasty. Whoever's carrying the bass is prominent and solid on bass. The drums are banging. These dudes are on fire 3 songs in.
Yeah. So Blaine is the vocalist, and him and Ryder are married. And then Kieran Kuda was the bass player on this album. He was actually going out with one of the dudes from Priestess. And then Jeremy was the drummer. So
There, I can tell you, dude, this is solid. You know, with that, track number 4, "Good Night for a Heart Attack." I
mm,
gave this another A. This is another great track. It sounds like a soundtrack to a Roadhouse bar fight.
mm,
I mean, I'm dead serious, dude. And when I'm sitting here trying to describe or think of what this reminds me of, this sounds like a soundtrack to a Roadhouse bar fight. Like you can hear this in the background and people are getting their asses whooped. I mean, I'm being honest, like,
mhm.
holy cow, like 4 songs in on a 13 song album, I'm like, I'm in for a treat, I think. Track number 5, "Hate and Whiskey." A little slower groove. I love the chorus. And at this point, I'm 5 tracks in. I'm going, who is this guitar player? Like, I gotta freaking know. Like, so at that point, I've obviously pulled up uh, Wikipedia to kind of find out who's who. And man, she's something else, man. Track number 6, "Lazy White Boy." I said a really cool, um, tongue-in-cheek style song. There's a great riff, and once again, another solid solo, dude. This lady is absolutely on fire, dude.
Mhm.
Like, man, she's so good, dude. And I love her style of playing. It just like it's dirty. Yeah, dude. She's good. Um, Track number 7, "Hell Ain't What It Used to Be." I gave this one an A as well.
Mhm.
Another balls to the wall riff killer. The riff was killer. The bass slot on this was pretty wicked too, man. I loved the little bit of bass slot I heard on that. Track number 8, "One Way Down." I gave this one an A as well. It's a little more mid-paced. There's a great solo. The bass drum and vocal part is really cool because there's just a bass drum or the
Mhm.
drums and the vocals and the kind of some bass going on. I
Mhm.
love it when that happens in songs, and it was done very well. Track number 9, "Raising Hell Again." This would be the first track that I would come across, and I would go, man, it isn't giving me as much as the rest of the album is. I said, felt like a Southern rock punk thing. It was cool and it had a cool ending, but it didn't bang for me as some of the rest of these songs that come before it. And it
Mhm.
wasn't it wasn't a fatigue thing. It's just if I had to say that maybe there was a song that was filler, this was it. It's not a bad song. It's not skippable, but it kind of it kind of just didn't.
That was a good song. It
Yeah,
was
it's
okay.
it's a good song. It's just not a bad song.
Yeah.
It was unskippable, but like I said, it just didn't hit that train. It didn't keep the train moving as much as I would hope it would have. It didn't hit for me as much.
I would
Tr
agree with you.
Track number 10, "Atlanta's Still Burning." I gave this one a B as well. I said it's a good song, great solo. just not as much a standout. And it's like I kind of hit this almost, lighter, you know, like I don't want to say filler because they don't really feel like filler songs, but they're just not in that upper echelon of everything else going on the album. And we get to track 11, man. I saw the title and I was just like, holy shit, I hope they do it justice. And then it's Nutbush City Limits, which is
Mm,
actually a Tina Turner song, but I
only.
was I was more familiar with the Bob Seger version growing up.
Mm,
And I thought, wow, they did a really solid take on this. And what one thing I really like when a band does a cover is they actually own it. Please don't do your best to make it sound as much as the original as possible. Own it with your own style, own it with your own thing. Suspect Earth always did that. And that's one thing I will, Danzig does. Danzig doesn't make um, a track or a cover track and try to make it sound like the exact thing or whatever, except when he did the obviously Elvis album, which was a lot of fun in my opinion. Uh, But track number Nutbush 11 Nutbush City Limits, I gave it an A. I said this. I said they own this Tina Turner cover. This was also done by Bob Seger, which, like I said, was more familiar with.
mhm.
Track number 12, Meaner Than My Mama. I gave this one a B. I said another mid-pace tune. Uh, it's probably my least favorite on the album at this point, to be honest with you. It's not a C-worthy song because it is a good song. It's not skippable. It definitely fits the album, just like all the rest of the other Bs. They definitely fit the album, but it's just they didn't have the fire for me as much as the rest of the album. And track number 13, Snowblind. Um, I've always loved this. I've always loved this cover or loved this song as far as it being an Ace cover and whatnot. And I think they did a really, really good job on it. And I think it was an absolute banger of a closer. So I gave that one an A, man.
Mhm.
I really did like their take on it. They did it solid justice. Um, so we go through, 13 tracks. I've got one, two, three, three B's out of 13. The rest were A's. Before I give my review, I just want to say something that you and I don't often talk about,
Mm.
especially with these two albums. Let's talk about cover art.
Yeah.
Long are the days gone of really mind-blowingly cool cover art. And I really like the cover art on this. While it may seem somewhat simplistic, it was actually pretty cool the way it was laid out. Um, and it's a very catching album. If you're thumbing through your albums, you're not going to have a problem finding it. I really like the cover art on this one. Same as the cover art for what I had given you.
Mhm.
The Municipal Waste album covers are usually pretty freaking cool. And there are a lot of bands, even Iron Maiden to this day, we long, we've gotten away from, in my opinion, what would seem like really cool cover art anymore. Now it just seems like corporate BS a lot of times, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But just I really wanted to say something about the cover art of this. However, I want to thank you very much for giving me this album. I am definitely going to be checking out more of these dudes. I absolutely thought this album was, I've got to find a place for it in my rotation. And I'll tell you when it does. I'll be honest with you. I'm
Mhm.
going to check out more of these dudes. And now that I know they're accessible to me on Bandcamp, I'll be picking up their shit because I'll be able to own it digitally. So yeah, man. I like this a lot. Uh, Banger of an album, dude. I can
Yeah.
understand completely why you like this album. I'm going to give it a solid 9.5.
It's beautiful. No, I would agree with you. I'd put it right about there. Um, I understand why you didn't like Atlanta is Burning as much. Um, I don't understand uh how you don't like Meaner Than My Mama. I love that song, but
It's not okay.
each
First of
his
all,
own.
okay, we got to go step back. It's not that I don't like Meaner Than My Mama. I said it wasn't skippable. It fits the vibe of the album. It's just not the standout tracks that,
Mm.
dude, let me tell you something.
Trust me, it's I understand it's a high bar.
That good night for a heart attack.
Uh-huh.
Get out of here, dude. And let me tell you, that that amazing woman on guitar, like I let me tell you, I'll be the first to tell you. If you tell me, hey, Tone, we can meet up in Kentucky, you're on your way up to see mom or whatever, and Nashville Pussy's playing, let's get involved. Let's get involved. I would love to see them. Um, I think I've got to see her live. But nothing against the rest of the band, but I've got to see her live, dude. She gets down. She fucking gets down. She is
She's
the she's
amazing.
she's the real fucking deal, dude.
Me and Scott seen them at the Rivari Room
Oh, I hate you guys.
with and Priestess was opening up.
Yeah, this is a phenomenal album, dude. Did you see them on this tour?
No, they're still out there.
No, did you see them on this tour? The
Oh
Get
yes,
Some tour. Okay.
yes.
That's why it's a big deal
Oh,
to you.
it's fantastic.
Now, do you have all of their releases?
I've got 4 or 5 of them, plus a live DVD. So, um, still haven't went back to the new album. I really liked it, but I haven't finished it yet. So, um, just with everything with Eighth, it fell behind.
A
So,
lot of people are listening to a lot of Ace Frehley lately. Scylla even kicked on the Amazon Alexa and was like, play Rock Soldiers,
mhm.
That's her and Jake's jam right there. But for me, it's I loved Back in the New York Groove, dude. I'll never
Mhm.
forget the first and being in New York and listening to that in my headphones as I was walking down through Times Square. I was just like, yeah, here I am in the
Again in the
city
city
with a
with a
fistful
fistful
of
of dollars.
dollars. And baby, grabbing a slice of pizza, dude. There's nothing like that in the world. And hearing it at Yankee Stadium, there's nothing like that in the world, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So that's
Oh
that's it'll always hold a special place in my heart. And man, I can get it. But as you move into,
yeah.
we move away from my review and we move into your review. Um, let's talk some getting wasted with municipal waste.
That's right. All right. Crossover thrash. Uh, they were part of that second wave of this crossover thrash thing in the mid to late 2000s. Municipal Waste, The Art of Partying. This was their third studio album, released June 11th, 07. Without the 2 bonus tracks, you're just a shade over 32 minutes. So, my
Not a lot,
initial,
not a long listen.
mm-mm. the Each song is pretty short, generally speaking, under 2 minutes or so. There's a couple of like 45-second ones sprinkled in, but um, a lot of high energy in this album for sure. Very, very high energy. Um, there's some there's some campiness to it. There's some fun in here. So um, there was 2 videos that they made for this album. One was Headbanger, Face Rip, and Sadistic Magician. So I haven't checked those out yet, but pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool. Um, to your point, to the covers, I agree with you. We really do need to talk more about covers because, eh, people used to buy albums just for the cover. They had no idea what the music sounded like, but the cover was cool. Um, but yeah, with this very cool cover, all about the zombies and stuff like that. So pretty cool cover. I dug the cover. Let's see, first track, pregame. It's a short 39-second intro, not really worth rating. It was just a 39-second intro, so I didn't rate it.
But it suited.
Yeah, it's a fine little intro. The title track, "The Art of Partying." It's a fun song about partying. uh, One of the lines in there, "As the thrash pounds through your head, pound your drinks tonight. We shred." So, uh, if that gives you a feel like it's all about debauchery and just you have this that that typical speed metal, thrash metal riff throughout the song. Um, it's fun. I gave it an A. And it wasn't very long. So, next up was Headbanger Face Rip. I gave it an A. Its song is so stupid, but it's a nice opening riff. Seems like the drummer was actually having a hard time keeping up. Like there's some misses in there. I'm like, all right, but they kept going. Um, it's a fun song. Again, that same shredding.
And blast beats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Is that what the kids call them these days?
That's what they've been called for years. Blast beats.
Okay, sure.
They're notorious in thrash. They're notorious in and punk. They're notorious in death metal and extreme metal and shit like that as well. When you hear that double bass kick, that's blast beats.
Okay. Next up was Mental Shock. Basically, it's a song about sitting in the electric chair, just hanging out in the electric chair, getting ready to die. It's a cool opening riff. This starts getting into Great Cat territory for me. Yep. It's kind of wearing. I gave it a B. Yeah, it was wearing on me. Next up was ADD, Attention Deficit Destroyer. This might be my favorite song on the album.
Funny, it's probably my favorite song too.
Yeah. It's got some great energy on this, and it actually has some melody. There's not a whole lot of variation on the riffs in this album so far. So it was nice to see a little bit of melody in that. I gave this an A. Next up is The Inebriator. Cool title. Very cool title. Let's see. What's this? What did I say? Rising to a level of inebriated bliss, pounding to the speed of the metal with our fists. You like that, huh? It's a fun drinking song. You can't understand the lyrics in real time, but I was kind of looking back and listening to it. I gave it a B. I was starting to get wore out on.
It's a lot to take in. It really is. But once again, you have to factor in the fact that these songs are minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if there's there's a couple over 3 minute songs,
Yeah.
but I'll get into it later. I'll come back to it. Let's see.
Municipal Waste is gonna fuck you up.
We're getting there. I love it. Lunch. What the hell? I hate when I can't read my own shit. Lunch hall food brawl. Thank you. Good God. I gave this thing a C. These songs are starting to blend together. Nothing is really standing out on this track. And again, it's short. It's like a minute 45 or whatever, but it's like,
yeah,
okay, whatever.
Still fits the aesthetic of the album.
Yeah. Okay. So the aesthetic on this album does not change. It's speed. You
And when
got
the
speed.
and when the aesthetic of the album of the Nashville Pussy album changed slightly,
Yeah.
I had some dings too. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
But see, they like a little change up. I like a
Yeah.
little mix up, but yeah. Anyway.
I knew I was dancing in dangerous territory giving you a municipal waste album, but I was really kind to you last week or the week before that.
Uh, Next up, beer pressure. Again, I love the title. It's a funny spoken word intro about getting conned into uh, overdoing it and stuff. Um, no real change to the pace of this record so far. I gave it a B. I like the intro to it. It- I like the title of it. I like the premise of it, but just the song itself is just like okay, it's not skippable yet. But I was just like okay, it it fits. But anyway, next up, chemically altered. Uh, another solid riff, but not sure what's going on. I have no idea what he's talking about or anything like that. And that was after reading the lyrics. Like I didn't understand it. Can you give any insight into that?
I
Chemically
cannot.
altered. Okay.
I cannot.
I ended up giving it a B. Now, let me say this. This track, and I had the two bonus songs as well. 17 tracks on this thing. It felt a lot longer than a half hour, even though it wasn't. Anyway. Next up was Sadistic Magician. Really cool bass riff to start this thing off. Um, I really dug it. I gave it a B. Um, it wasn't a great track, but again, I think the fatigue was really starting to wear on me on it. But it's a good track. It's a good track, and I really like that bass beginning on there. So again, if you went to this song first, like if you just popped it in, I don't know, track 10, whatever it is, and you hit this, you'd probably give it an A. It's really good. But I was just wore out with it.
It happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's
Next,
and see that's one of the things I was trying to avoid by giving you them and having the songs be so short. So you just got, you got a half hour dosage because I think the album only technically without the bonus tracks runs about
3201.
32 minutes. Yeah.
Yep. But on the flip side, if the tracks were longer on this, it, because the pace doesn't change,
Yeah.
you know. So anyway, next up was Open Your Mind. Um, this is a totally skippable track. Um, and I'm a minute 30 into this song. Yep, I'm done. I can't. There was there was nothing really great about that song. So to me. Then next up, Radioactive Force. Another another skippable. See, same as the last previous song. I mean, it was literally like a continuation of that song. I was like, I don't get it. Then we go into septic. Again, can't read my own damn writing. Septic detonation. Now, we'll say this: I love the titles of these songs. They're fun. They're fun titles.
Yeah.
Um, I gave this a D. I don't give D's very often,
No.
but I said straight great cat stuff. Yeah, this made no sense to me at all. Then rigorous vengeance, same basic thrash riff, and I'm over it. Not skippable if you go straight to it, but I, yeah,
What'd you give that?
C. and then Born to Party. Um, it starts off really good, then back to the same thrash speed. Um, I love that part where where you just said earlier, municipal's gonna fuck you up. It's sing along, it's fun. I gave this one an A. I like that song. That was fun.
I knew you'd find some gems on there, dude. I know your vein, and I knew that there was some things that were going to strike you pretty well.
Yeah.
And you've given some A's, all right? But
Uh,
I also know the pacing on this was very rigorous, dude. And this is and municipal waste to me is not for everyone.
no,
You know, to
no,
sit
they're
down
not.
and
I
you
mean,
could,
yeah,
huh?
it's not a mainstream album. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
even for like thrash lovers, I think this is a niche. I think this is a particular niche in thrash.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you other bands like that, like Nuclear Assault. Uh, there's and I don't want to say compare. It's just lesser known bands that you may have never listened to any of
Mhm,
their shit, like Nuclear Assault, Napalm Death. I was just listening to Napalm Death. The code is orange or the code is red. Long live the code.
mhm.
And man, it's a brutal album. And it's not, it's some people would probably get in my car and go, okay, hey, look, dude, can you turn it off? like like I'm scared.
Yeah,
Like I get it, but you know,
yeah.
I
Uh,
I find peace in the chaos.
I, I don't see how you can find any peace in this. Um, see, do you want me to go over the couple bonus tracks?
If you want to, man.
Sure. Uh, the first bonus track was "Thrashing is My Business, and Business is Good." A
Nice.
little play on words from Megadeth there. It's all about life in a thrash pit. It's only 49 seconds long. Um, I gave it an A. It's 49 seconds long, and it actually had some words, so that's fine. And then finally, I just want to rock. Good harmonics in the beginning of this, the guitars, guitar sounds and stuff. The fun song about being in a rock band, just all the rigors of rock and roll. I gave it a B. It's it's good. Um, but all in all, it has all the energy and riffs of everything you want in a thrash band. But there's just not a lot of diversity in the song structure, and it's just wearing for me. It's just wearing for me. I I hope I never have to listen to this again. It's just
Dude, you
it's a
gave A's in there.
I know.
How could you not sit there and at some point in time
I
go, municipal waste is
no
that's such a killer too, dude.
no
Yeah,
I won't. Like I will never seek out municipal waste again.
that's unfortunate.
That's fine. Uh,
But
having
you had
said all,
but you had a little fun with the album.
I did have a little fun with it. Like this is kind of wild. It's a wild album. I'll give you that. It's a wild album.
So is this one of
Um,
those albums you look at and you go, how the hell?
yeah.
Just
Why did this happen? But
I
no,
I love them, dude.
no.
They're fun for me. But see, I go through really extreme ticks. Like sometimes I want to listen to that slow, low doom style thing, and then sometimes I just want to ramp it the hell up. And
Oh, you know
that's
me. I love energy. I love a lot of energy.
yeah.
It's gotta go somewhere. Anyway, all in all, I know you're gonna hate me for it, but this is probably going to be my lowest rating of the season. I'm giving this a 6.5.
Oh,
That D and those C's there towards the end, it was tough. It was tough. I'm not saying everything on here
I
sucked because it did,
here's the
but
thing.
it's tough.
Knowing you gave it a fair rating.
Hmm.
For me, I would have probably rated it knowing that I love the band and the style of music. Fair rating from me, somewhere between an 8.25, and an 8.5, somewhere right around there.
Hmm.
I dig the album. I really dig the album. It's a lot of fun. Um, just there's highlights on the album, like you said. There were some A's on there you really enjoyed, and they were really high. They were really the highlights. Like,
Mhm.
dude, you can't deny that chant ain't a lot of fun. When you hear
Right.
that, I've listened to that a number of times in the last week. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do dig me some Municipal Waste. You're not familiar, maybe you're not familiar with Napalm Death and fucking Morbid Angel and Death Angel and stuff like that. Just stuff I was taking in many, 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 many years ago, and I'm just now trying to go back and check out some of their stuff that I may have missed. Because I haven't
Mhm.
listened to a lot of bands, and I listen to a lot of bands. You and I both do, but to go back and listen to some of the stuff we were younger and catch up on some of their discography, it's a workout.
Oh
It's
yeah.
an it's an absolute workout. So we come to that point of the evening. You must
Yeah.
rate. We've given each other the
Hmm.
albums 9.50 from me and a 6.50 from you. But I think it's time that we exchange albums again.
Let's do it.
Um, I know this was a rough listen for you, and it makes it really, 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 really hard for me to want to give you this next album because I'm afraid you're gonna butcher it, and I don't think it deserves a butchering, to be honest with you. But I've thought about it and I've thought about it and I've thought about it, and I'm going to be finishing up thanks to you. I really want to say this. It's thanks to you and your idea on how I finished up the Jungle Rock collection by ordering the CD through Discogs. I was thinking, man, whose other shit do I own digitally that I don't own um, the rest of their collection? And I'm going to be finishing up my collection by doing it through Discogs. And I want to say thank you for pointing me in that direction because I absolutely love this band. I absolutely have to have these last two albums. And at about 25 bucks, I'm okay with owning the CDs for around 25 bucks shipped. I'm okay with that. Then I can own it digitally and own it legally. That's the big thing for me. However, mm, it was very hard to decide what album to give you. The the kid in me tells me I want to give you the incomplete. The adult in me says to give you Inked in Blood, which I think was one of their most recent releases, if not the last release. And it was really, 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 really good. But then I have to consider, man, like Bruce has a real problem with the genre, and it comes down to vocals. And the vocalist and the drummer are brothers in this band. That's why this band still exists and still writes great shit to this day. So I decided, you know what? Hmm. John and Chuck would probably tell you, give him World Demise. I can't do it because, in all honesty, I think the fairest album to hand you directly, the same way I did with Jungle Rot, I am going to give you self titled, and it is later in their collection. And you should have known it by the gear I was wearing all night tonight.
Mhm.
I was double obituaried up. It don't happen often on a show, but if you
Mhm.
see it happen, you're likely getting something from that band. So I'm going to give you Obituary self-titled album.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm going a little less sealed. Um,
And
it's
that's fine.
yeah.
Hey, listen, that album that you just gave me, no BS, and I love that album. That's a phenomenal album. I wish I would have
Me
been at
too.
that show with you and Scott.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll catch them. We might even get them on the show. You just never know. But anyway, I started thinking about this band out of the blue, I don't know, a month ago. I was like, whatever happened to these guys? And I I kind of knew the lead singer kind of in passing. He was next door neighbors with one of my best friends at the time back in school. Um, but I am giving you, and we're coming up on the 30-year anniversary of this album. And I'm giving you Howlin' Maggie's Honeysuckle Strange. It's such a cool snapshot in time.
You said Honeysuckle Strange.
Mm-hmm. And this is what the album, you'll see it.
Oh, cool.
Hmm.
Well, I look forward to that. I hope, I know if I gave you something like Slowly We Rot, World Demise, maybe even the new album, Inked in Blood, I knew I was taking a risk vocally. I think John's vocals are really, they really sound good on this album.
Mhm.
And personally, I love this album. If it's not my favorite album, it's probably my second favorite album from Obituary. And I am not digging your camera tonight, dude. I want to punch that camera. Your cameraman is doing an awful job, dude. You got to fix that.
I'll
I'm,
work.
I'm I'm pretty sure something AI set it up. Like that's weird, dude. Anyways, um, yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week's show. Should be very interesting. Very much so looking forward to this Howlin' Maggie album. Um, I hope you find something that you enjoy on the Obituary album. My favorite Obituary song I think is on that album, but we'll see what you say when we
Okay.
get to next week.
Fair enough.
Um, other than that, man, I've had a great time.
Me too.
Folks, if you like what you see here and you hear here, please like, comment, subscribe. We want to hear from you. We would love to review any album you tell us. We'd love to take the time to do that. We want to also hear from you and what you think about the show and what you think about the albums if you've been listening to them. Other than that, Bruce, you got anything else to say?
No, we love you all. Thanks for hanging in there with us, everyone. We really appreciate the love and support and all the comments and stuff. And we do it for you because we can barely stand this dude for one day out of the week. So I do it for you.
We do it all for you. Bruce, I want you to have a great week. I will talk to you later. I'm Tone.
I'm Bruce.
We're hooked on Sonics, and we will see you next week.
See ya.